I remember going to school there, and the incidents, going into the jungle to see elephants and leopards and bears and buffalo, all of them pretty dangerous. The headmaster of the school took us on a school party to Yala, where we stayed in the rest house, and went around in his old bus to waterholes to see what animals we could see. Fascinating.
And you then had to move away, still not back to the UK immediately.
After this is, my mother and my two brothers moved to Rhodesia during the war because of the threat of an imminent invasion of Ceylon, and we spent a couple of years in Rhodesia and South Africa before going back. The school that I'm talking about was in the rather brief interval between returning to Ceylon and returning to Britain. Returning, of course, in two different senses. all the English in Ceylon regarded returning as being returning to United Kingdom.
And your first school back in the UK was?
Was the Dragon School in Oxford, a rather superior prep school where I spent just under 2 years, got a scholarship to a public school in Canterbury, King's School.
Which leads on to your first university degree, which wasn't an obvious preparation for computing. Could you explain what the degree of greats is?
Yes, it's has quite an ancient tradition in Oxford. It consists of 4 subjects: Latin and Greek, language and literature. Well, that's 4 already. Latin and Greek history, and ancient and modern philosophy. So it's a 4-year course with an exam in the middle, in which I did moderately well, but not sufficiently well to gain a research grant to do a doctoral research in philosophy at Oxford, which is what I would otherwise have done. Fortunately, I don't
That may have saved computing.
I think it saved me from possibly rather a career for which I was not
What made you
ideally
choose
fitted.
grades?
At the public schools in those days, all the brightest students studied Latin and Greek, and history was for those who can't. And scientists, well, nobody knows why they take up the subject. So I was always interested in mathematics. I got quite good marks in mathematics for as long as I was studying it. And I went on to study mathematics just for fun of it from popular textbooks. I acquired an interest in philosophy through the philosophy of mathematics, through reading books by Bertrand Russell, for example, and C.E.M. Joad, who was quite a popular philosopher in those days. And certainly it was the study of philosophy, and particularly the philosophy of mathematics and the foundations of mathematics, that led me into computing.